Because you know I'm all about that bass, no treble. I'm all about that bass, no treble. I'm all about that bass, no treble. I'm all about that bass,
It's me again, Music on Fire 10. I'm back with another storytime video because the other one was so much fun, and it's entitled "This Thing Took My Book."
Yeah, it's pretty clear. I ain't no size 2, but I can shake it like I'm supposed to do. Cause I got that boom boom that all the boys chasing, all the right junk in all the right places.
Music on Fire 10 again, I am back. So this story is about an Afrocentric homeschooling co-op that I created about a year ago. I started with Meetup so that I would be able to meet the parents beforehand, which is incredibly important in this story, right? So a couple weeks before we were actually to start the classes, I decided that we should all meet up at a restaurant, an African restaurant in Tempe. We all met there, had a great dinner, and I was able to talk to the parents, let them know what the curriculum would be like, let them know that nutritious and healthy snacks were going to be provided and all of that good stuff, and the classes were out in the park. So this one woman came, she had 3 little sons, very well behaved, very respectable. So the lady came, she had a little girl, very well behaved, very respectable. Everybody was normal, correct? So we all talked, and then, I apologize, I keep shaking my computer. We all talked and left that evening. Everybody was excited. A couple weeks later, some of the classes actually start, and in the meantime, several more people joined the actual meetup group, including this one woman who I will call Mary. She joined and let me know that she had a 6-year-old son who would love the class. She would love to come and bring him to the class, especially since it was outside in the park, and that there weren't very many things like this, an outlet for young boys at this time. And so she actually was a teacher herself, so she came with him. She said that she would meet me maybe a couple hours earlier since she missed the meeting. She asked me if she could still come since she'd missed the meeting, and against my better judgment, I told her yes. Bad idea, something I will never do again, because I realize now, and this was something that I've been told before by several doctors, because I want to go into pediatrics, and everyone says, you know, it isn't the children that's the issue, their illnesses or anything like that, it's the parents, which is understandable. I mean, this is your child, your seed, your lifeline, and you want to protect them by any means necessary. However, when there's someone who's trying to help you out with that, and you pop off on them, not in your best judgment to do. But it happens, you know, it happens quite a bit. So that being said, that's what happened in this case. And this woman and her son came to the park basically right on time. She did not come early as she said she would, which I should have called her on that and been like, you know, actually you and I should have a meeting beforehand. Need to see where your mindset is with this, with your son, with this class and everything like that. But I didn't, and I didn't have the chance to because she came directly on time. But either way, you know, that's my issue. I should have said something in the beginning because it was my class, and I should have taken better control of it, but I didn't. So, you know, she came to the class, everything seemed fine. We had our first class. I really enjoyed it. It was great. And so the other woman with her 3 little boys was like, oh yeah, I'll definitely be back next week. And this woman, I don't remember whether she said that. I believe she said something more like, oh, it was nice to meet you. And so, of course, they took the books with them because they were supposed to bring them back to class next week. So this woman did not come back to class. Mary, I apologize. Mary did not come back to class the following week. She did not come back to class for like 3 or 4 weeks, like a month. And she definitely, so the week that she missed, you know, I contacted her and asked her, you know, will you be meeting with us next week? And she said, oh, yeah, I'll definitely be back next week. So she gave me no indication that she was never coming back, and she was keeping my book. And so finally, the other lady with the 3 sons said, you know, I actually live really far away, and it's not in my best interest to come to the classes anymore, especially when there aren't other children that can be brought to the class. And I was so disappointed because if she didn't come back, then that meant there were no more classes. And I can't control who is or who is not coming to the classes. I was advertising, I was letting people know. She was advertising and letting people know, but we couldn't necessarily at that time get the classes built, which for whatever reason, it didn't happen. And I realized, like, okay, well, Mary's son, like, she hasn't come back. So I contacted Mary and I said, if you are not coming back to the class, I need my book back, because these were books that I purchased, and if I had the class in the future, it was the book that I had planned to use. A book that is 99 cents on Amazon, mind you, and a book that I did not tell her she could keep. So she goes on to say, oh, well, I thought that the books, were ours to keep. And I was like, no, if you're not coming back to the class, then please send me my book. Like in my logic was, if you're not coming back to the class, then you don't need the book, because you're not, you can get the book yourself. This was not something that I was providing to you to keep. And she knew that. I never gave her that indication. And so, I kept calling her because I really wanted my book back. And by this time, I was getting really upset. Like the fact that I could not get anybody to come to this class, which I thought was really beneficial, and that she thought it was okay to keep the book. Not cool at all. And so, I called her. She didn't answer. And there was another phone number on her sheet, her information sheet, which I didn't realize she had for emergency contact with some other person. I thought it was her home number, but I called that person and she said that it was her mother-in-law, and then if I called her again, it would be considered harassment. So in other words, this thing is out here in Arizona somewhere, and she still has my book, and she's probably not using it, and I don't appreciate it. But at the end of the day, like, all I can say is it's my own fault. So I just have to let people know next time, no, these books are not yours to keep. You have to get your own copy. She's a teacher. I don't think people go to school and get their social studies book and keep it forever and ever, because it's a school. That's not how schools operate. It's a school. It's not a bookstore. I mean, that's not even how libraries operate. So that's what happened. Very aggravating, but it didn't deter me. I mean, for that time, after that, I was like, no. Like, this woman saying I'm harassing her. At this time, I hadn't graduated from medical school, and I was like, I'm about to become a doctor. I can't have my reputation dragged through the dirt for some crazy person that is going to tell people I'm harassing her because I want my own property back. So, needless to say, I never got the book back. And I probably won't, which is totally fine. But in the future, when I do start my classes, belly dance and African reading circle classes for young ladies ages 4 through 17, that's Tay Dance and Fitness. If you're interested, let me know. Comment below, because I will be starting that in January 2016. I do need to meet with parents beforehand. Every single parent who is going to be involved in this girl's life, I need to let them know what this class is and what it is not. I need to let them know what books we're going to be reading. I need to let them know that the books, if I provide the book, they cannot keep it unless they buy it from me. But they're able to get their own copy. So I have to set some ground rules and set some boundaries, and that's what I learned from that, and I hope you all learned something from that too. Let me know if you've ever had any experiences below, and if you have any advice for me in this class, let me know about that too. Have a good day and read a good book.
I see the magazine.